Our concern today is to know about the conflict between Judaism and Christianity. The Jews or Judaism is forever divided from Christianity based on the conflict between Jesus and the Jewish intellectuals, between Jesus and the Jewish royalty, and Jesus and the Jewish men. They parted and they made sure his movement was completely destroyed. Since that time, the Jewish people and the Christians had never thought of coming together in the oneness of God. Are they worshiping the same God? The Jews talk about Moses. The Christians talk about Jesus. The Christians talk about salvation through the blood of Jesus that he shed at Calvary. The Jews talk about salvation through circumcision given to Abraham. So the two are completely different in the worship of God. The Christians talk about Trinity God, they also talk about Yahweh. So they are forever divided. At what point can we say they can reconcile? The Christians are playing a game of sense of belonging. It is okay for the British and her allies to buy a land for the return of the Jewish people to Israel. It is okay also to recommend them or to accept them from a political point of view so as for them to have peace wherever they live. But does it mean they will be reconciled with the Christians in terms of worshiping God? That is not. Some Christians even try to call themselves the children of Abraham. And because of that, they are united with the Jews. But technically, they have been divided since the time of Jesus. How long it is? When the Bible was written, the New Testament is 2,000 years now. But the Jews are not coming back. Recently, we heard about President Donald Trump sending American embassy to Jerusalem and considering it as an eternal city of God. And some Christians in Ghana, Christians in Nigeria, some Christians in America are saying that that is a fulfillment of prophecy. Are we sure about that? It is funny. How can Christians prophesy for the Jews? Would they even accept the prophecy? They have even accepted Jesus as a continuation of the prophets. So Jesus is not counted among the Jewish prophets today in the Torah. They are forever divided. So what can bring them together to understand that they are worshiping one God, so that they are united spiritually into God? So we will look at this as a serious area of conflict. And we will go into the school of conflict to explain the determinant of the conflict between the Jews and Christians. If we know the determinant, then we will have an issue to dialogue. And through dialogue of that issue, if it is accepted by the Jews, then automatically we can say the Jews and Christians are on the same wavelength and worshiping the same God. But today, as it is, the Christians and the Jews are forever divided from spiritual point of view, from religious point of view. Politically, they can agree. Economically, they can agree. You work, give all your money to the Jews. But that doesn't mean they will trade their religion with Christianity. Let us give them all the political support. That does not mean they will trade that with their religion. They are forever separated. Let us send researchers to Israel today, or to any of the Jewish communities in America and Europe and everywhere in the world, and ask them about Yeshua. What would they tell you? Everywhere they will tell you Yeshua is for Christians, not for them. That is not their God. That is not whom they follow. So Yeshua is to Christians. So how can we reconcile the Christians and the Jews while the Jews are not accepting Jesus Christ? They never accepted him as the Son of God, the one to come. They never accepted him as a Messiah. The Jews did not even consider him as one of their prophets. They did not consider him as the last to come. So they are still waiting for somebody to come to free them. And still waiting is over 2,000 years now. And they are still separated from the Christians. Now let's go into the school of conflict and see which of the conflict determinants can explain the conflict between Jesus and the Jewish intellectuals. First of all, we look into the realm of Hegel. According to Hegel, consciousness of man determines social conflict, which means in the area of doctrinal differences, ideas are fundamental in causing social conflict. Can we say Jesus' doctrine brought about the conflict and the hatred, as well as the division that has been created until today? Or will we go to Karl Marx in the Marxist theory or Marxist understanding of conflict? All social conflict is determined by the being, which means economic determinants, material determinant. Can we say Jesus' conflict with the Jews can be explained from material conception of men? Then there is a third determinant, of which Dr. Vinep Nana Asante Kankam-da-Costa says, any conflict that brings permanent division is caused by sexual gratification and its differential model. So in the realm of conflict, these are the three determinants to be used to determine what caused the conflict. Now when we look at Jesus' conflict with the Jews, can we explain it in Marxist terms? Let's look at it. Jesus once said, the Son of Man has no place to lay his head, which means he wasn't on this earth to struggle for material things. He had no place to lay his head. If Jesus is with us today, he will see people that preach with his name to bring about some kind of psychological balance are millionaires. Some people preach prosperity to people in the name of Jesus, and they are billionaires. But the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. He didn't come here to fight for material things. Even when he died, there was nothing to show materially to be given to the people. The only thing he left was bread and wine. And so we cannot explain that. Marxist theory can explain the conflict between Jesus and the Jews. So Christianity has not been divided from Judaism in terms of materialism. Jesus once asked for a coin. And when they gave him the coin, he said, whose head is on it? They said, Caesar. And he said, Give to Caesar what is Caesar, and give to God what is God. Why was Jesus saying this? Can't he say, give everything to God? Because some prophets, some messengers will say that whatever you get from war, any spoils of war, give it to God and his prophet or his messenger. So why can't Jesus tell them to give the coin to the church? But rather was asking them to be more responsible. He was telling them about their civil responsibility to pay to Caesar what is Caesar in order to ensure harmonious relationship between government and the people. So he wasn't here for material things. So materialism cannot be used to explain the conflict between Jesus and the Jews. Now let's go to Hegel. In Hegel, he says ideas. What ideas? They accuse Jesus that he claimed to be the Son of Man. That's what they would say. He claimed to be the Son of Man, the Son of God. And we don't know him. If he claimed to be the Son of Man is in the literature of the Jews. They know about it. So if he claimed to be the Son of Man, then trace his roots. When you trace the root of Jesus, as the book of Matthew traced Jesus' root through Joseph unto Abraham, Jesus once said, before Abraham, I live. That means from paternal point of view, you cannot trace Jesus Christ through the paternal line because he wasn't the actual son of Joseph. And so Matthew traced the root of Joseph through David unto Abraham. But Jesus said, before Abraham, I live. And they tried to stone him, but he was telling them the truth. And then they also said, the Son of Man will come through David. And he said, and David calls me Lord. If David calls him Lord, then who was Jesus? We can only trace Jesus through the maternal line. So Muhammad cut it short and said, Jesus is the son of Mary and a miracle of God. So he ended it that way. He didn't want to go further. But when we trace Jesus from the book of John, he says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word was God. So that was Jesus. But what is the color of Jesus? Nobody is able to tell everything, but people say he was a black guy. In Israel, we have to remember, when they were in Egypt, Joseph himself had married a sinner who was a black Egyptian. And so Manasseh and Ephraim, the tribe of Manasseh and Ephraim, were black. When Moses was taking the Jews home, God told him, don't fight the Edomites because you are brothers. Who were the Edomites? The children of Esau. And Esau had married the daughter of Ishmael, his uncle's daughter. So they were also black, and they live in the same community. So the people of Galilee cannot be that white. So how can we say Jesus was the son of Abraham? So from maternal point, we can trace Jesus through Mary to whoever Mary relates to. But from the paternal side, we cannot say. Because of that, Jesus is the only prophet, the only one sent by God, who calls God Father. In all his prayers, in all his speeches, he called God my Father. He's the only one that used the word Father. So when we say ideas created the conflict, it is not, because the Jews have the idea of the Son of Man. Then people say his miracles antagonize the Jews. How can his miracles antagonize the Jews? The spiritual ingredients for the Jews to believe in a prophet is through his signs. Do you have any sign? Then they will believe you. They believe in Moses because Moses performed miracles. Gave them bread from heaven, manna from heaven. So his miracles. Elijah brought rain. That was his miracles. Elisha could heal all diseases. That was his miracles, and they believe in them. So if Jesus has miracles, then the miracles will not divide him and the Jewish intellectuals. If they can do, they can even sneak in and go in for miracles to Jesus. So the miracles did not cause the division between Jesus and the Jews. Some says he will destroy the Jerusalem temple and build it in 3 days. These are some of the things that they will tell the ordinary people to assuage their minds, to look for the killing of Jesus. But others also say, this man we don't know. He is destroying the Sabbath tradition. Why was he destroying the Sabbath tradition? The Sabbath, are you saying you don't touch anything? He himself explained that during Sabbath day, if you're a Jew and you have your sheep lost, you will go and look for your sheep. And so you use the Sabbath day to save animals. And he was using it to save human beings. So what was the difference? And which was more important on the Sabbath day? He preached on the Sabbath day the good news. And then on the Sabbath day, he could heal anyone who was sick. Was it work? He wasn't collecting money for his miracles. He wasn't collecting more money for his preaching. And so we can say ideas was not fundamental in creating the conflict between the Jews and Jesus. When we look at ideas, Jesus preached all over, and whatever he preached, he never antagonized. And sometimes he will quote directly from the Bible, straight away from the Old Testament, to support his point. So from an idealistic point of view, what he preached would not contribute to complete social change or completely structural change of the society. So that was not exactly what the Jews used to hate him. So from idealistic point of view, Jesus' conflict with the Jewish intellectuals, with the Jewish royalty, with the Jewish men, cannot be explained in terms of ideas. The ideas did not bring serious conflict. So they did not ask him too much questions about those kind of ideas that he claimed to be the king of the Jews. And people say, how can he be the king of the Jews? We don't know him. But over time, the Jewish people have been looking for a king to help them fight against the Romans. And so if he claimed to be the king of the Jews, he did not come as a warrior king. Rather, he came as someone to change the thought process of the people, so that when they get a refined mind, they can use that to control the world that they live in. So idealism did not cause much conflict. Then let's look at the other way around. and see if that also caused conflict. The area that caused much conflict between Jesus and the Jewish intellectuals was in the realm of sexual gratification and its differential models. Here Jesus provoked the Jews about his position concerning sexual gratification. And when sexual gratification is the determinant of conflict, the division that comes back is so long that it cannot be reconciled. The division is permanently set up. The division is completely unending division. And let's look at how sexual gratification determined the conflict between the Jews and Jesus. For Jesus came with provocation words that antagonized the Jews. And reading from Matthew, he said, I say to you that everyone who looks on a woman to lust for her had already committed adultery at hand. You have already committed adultery by looking at a woman lustfully. And then he went on to say, it will be better to lose one part of your body than to lose the whole in hell. What is he trying to say at this point? If I can look at a woman without having lust for her, how will I choose a woman to be my wife? Now he was telling the Jews, you can look, but you cannot lust. If you lust, you have committed adultery. Who committed adultery? In the Jewish literature or Jewish tradition, we have the concept of adultery. But men don't cause adultery. It's rather women who cause adultery in the Jewish perspective. So to what extent was Jesus accusing men to causing adultery? That statement will make the very men angry that they shouldn't look at a woman lustfully. If you look at a woman lustfully, you have committed adultery at heart. So are you accusing us men, accusing we, the men, as causing adultery? That was unheard for in the Jewish tradition. And so it went on to the second provocation. He said, whosoever or whoever divorces his wife, let him give her a certificate of dismissal. But I say to you that everyone who divorces his wife, except for the cause of unchastity, makes her commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. This was a very hard saying. You telling us if a woman marries at the age of 18 and something happens and divorces at the age of 26, are you saying that no man can marry that woman again? Because if you do, you have committed adultery. That is the area of conflict between the Jews and Jesus. Calling men committing adultery if they marry a divorced woman, you are also affecting the job of the Jewish lawyers. The lawyers make a lot of money in divorce cases. And now you are saying that if somebody marries a divorced woman at the age of 26, he is causing adultery. And if you divorce the woman, you make the woman also commit adultery. And that was a very high provocation that Jesus was provoking the intellectualism of the Jews. So now it came to the third provocation that can be read from Matthew. Some Pharisees asked, now they are coming to ask him questions. When he was talking about ideas and the Son of Man, the King of the Jews and all, they didn't have a lot of questions to ask him. But at this time, they took it serious that he was trying to change the social structure of the society. So he came with a third provocation. And they came to him, the Pharisees came to him, and they asked, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any cause at all? Jesus replied, have you not read that who he created them? Created them from the beginning, a male and female. And that's why it is written that a man will leave his father and mother and cleave himself to his wife. And the two are one, and no longer two, but they are one. So they are one flesh. What God has put together, let no man separate. Do not cause asunder. Which means the Jewish lawyers who were breaking marriages now have to be very careful what Jesus was talking about. You cannot break anybody's marriage, which means you are married forever. If you marry forever, as a result, the lawyers were affected by this statement that nobody can put what God has put together into asunder. No one can separate. This answer to the Pharisees was not taken lightly at all. So they went back to find ways and means to kill Jesus. And so Jesus quoted directly from the Bible about when a man leaves his home and clings himself to the wife. That is directly quoted from the Bible to support his point. Now the Jews have to find ways and means to find that they can also support their point. They came back. They asked him, why then did Moses command to give her a certificate and divorce her? Now they are defending their cause with a principle from whom they really believe. And if Jesus did not believe in Moses, then he would not be from God. So Moses commanded us to divorce women and give them certificate of divorce. What did Jesus say? Jesus said, Moses permitted you to divorce your wives. He used the word wives because he was not talking about monogamy or polygamy. He was talking in general. So he said, Moses permitted you to divorce your wives because of your hardness of heart, because you were unteachable. That's why Moses permitted you to do that. But from the beginning, it has not been in this way. Whoever divorces his wife, he repeats, except immorality, and marries another woman, commits adultery. Excuse me, Jesus, what are you trying to say? So from here, the disciples replied, if it is so, it is better for one not to marry at all. So Jesus said, Not everyone will accept this, because there are men who were born Enochs. There are some who were made Enochs, and some who became Enochs because of the kingdom of God. This statement antagonized the Jewish lawyers. It antagonized the Jewish intellectuals, which means throughout history, Jesus is condemning a lot of sexual gratification models that have gone on through history. So that provocation was very serious. So now, as a result of this, there is a fifth provocation that came. There is a man that came to Jesus and said, "Good master, what good things should I do in order to inherit the eternal life?" And Jesus said, "Why do you call me good? There is nobody good other than God. But if you want to inherit eternal life, then follow the laws. Follow the commandments. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not kill. Honor thy father and thy mother. Love God and love thy neighbor." And when he gave him all the laws, these rich men looked at Jesus and said, "All these I have done. What do I lack yet?" This guy was so bold. Nobody can face Jesus in that issue. But he said, "I have done all this in my life. What do I like?" Jesus really know that that guy, in terms of the law, was righteous. Then Jesus gave him what he was lacking. He said, "Go and sell all what you have. Come and follow me to have eternal life." The rich man could not and left. So many preachers always preach that because the guy was so rich, that's why he couldn't. Wow. That was a serious thing. Was it because he was so rich? Or did the conversation even end there? It did not end there. So it went further with the conversation with the apostles. Jesus said something that hit the apostles. He said, "That's why it will be difficult for a rich man to go to heaven than a horse to go through the eye of a needle. The horse to go through the eye of a needle is so easy than a rich man to go to heaven." Does it mean that rich people cannot go to heaven? That was not what Jesus really entails. He meant something deeper than that. So the apostles wanted to know, after leaving everything to follow him, what would they gain? Because that was a hard saying. Did the rich man go because of his riches? The conversation continued with the apostles. So when the apostles wanted to know what would they get after leaving everything to follow Jesus, Jesus said this: "Whoever has left behind mother, father, have left behind uncles, nephews, relatives, houses, so all your property, everything, to follow me, will inherit the kingdom of heaven." So when Jesus was giving all the things that people have left, he did mention wife in that quotation. But look at it in the Bible today. A lot of Bibles have removed the word wife out of that section. So the rich man could not stand, because nobody knows what kind of women the rich man had, what kind of gratification that rich man was in. When you look at Buddha, Buddha was a prince. He had all things, but he wanted to find a way to understand why human beings suffer and how to solve the problem of suffering. He left all his riches behind and went in to know God. So why couldn't that rich man leave everything behind and follow Jesus in order to come back to have all what he wanted to have? But he could not, because the conversation did not end there. It went further when Jesus said, if you have left everything, including your wife, then you will have eternal life. So the rich man could not, probably because of the women that his riches has given him. That's the most difficult thing for a man to do. So it comes to Provocation 6. Some people came to Jesus to ask him, which is the greatest law? You know what Jesus said? He said, love God with all your heart, your mind, and soul. And then love your neighbor. Upon this rests the whole law. Why did Jesus say, love God and love your neighbor? Let's look. If Adam had loved God more than the woman around him, he would not have sinned against God. If Samson had loved God so much than the woman around him, he would not have lost his divine powers given to him by God. If the angels of God, the sons of God, had loved God more than the women, the sons, the daughters of men that they met, it would not have led to Noah's ark and the flood. Also, if Herod has loved God other than Herodias, he would not have killed John the Baptist. So Jesus said, love God with all your mind, with all your heart, and with all your soul. If you love God, then eventually you'll be able to overcome some of these problems that we face in the world. But then also he remembered that we have love for family, love for wives, love for our friends and neighbors. So he said, love thy neighbor. So therefore, in the seventh provocation, the Sadducees, who said there is no resurrection. Let's go and ask Jesus this question. So they came to Jesus and they asked, Lord Jesus, Moses said, if a man marries a woman and never had a child with the woman and dies, the next of kin can marry the woman and have children raised for the first one. So we have a woman with us. And there were 7 brothers. All these brothers had the woman. But then none of them had issue with the woman. So in heaven, who will marry this woman? This is a tricky question. But it cannot be the mind of a spiritual master like Jesus. So Jesus looked around and said, you guys do not understand the power of God. You guys do not understand the scripture. Don't you even know that in the resurrection, in heaven, women are not given to marry the way we do it here. So in heaven, they are all angels. If it is so, there is no marriage in heaven. These people were tricking Jesus that if there is a marriage in heaven, then automatically there will be no peace. Heaven is said to be a place of bliss. It's said to be a place of peace. But if women and men relationship exists in heaven, then that peace will be questionable. Because those 7 men who have had a woman, if the woman agrees to go with all of them, it will lead to prostitution. Sometimes one of them would like to dominate. It leads to killing people in heaven if it exists. So in order to cut it short, Jesus said, there's no marriage. So some people in their religion who think that by defending the religion, you will meet about 72 virgins in heaven to marry. You are deceiving yourself. Because he said that there is no marriage over there. So Jesus has quieted down the Sadducees. This was a serious issue. And Jesus just ended it. So the Sadducees kept quiet. And the Pharisees were saying that, why are they so quiet? They've also been defeated by Jesus in his Provocation 7. Now we're going to Provocation 8. They wanted to know what kind of punishment Jesus have for anyone breaking sexual gratification and its differential moral laws. So the Pharisees came to Jesus. The Pharisees and the scribes came to Jesus. And they told Jesus, holding a woman in front of them, and said, this woman was caught in the very act of adultery. And according to the law, Moses said, such a woman must be stoned to death. That was a great test to Jesus. What was he going to prescribe as a punishment for those who break the law? Now they are not talking about men who break the law, but women who break the law deserve to be stoned and die. Jesus stooped down, started to write. Then when he got up, he said to them, if any of you had not sinned, be the first to throw stone at the woman. They stood there, and then they started to go from the top to the bottom. None of these religious leaders could stand boldly at the rich man who told Jesus, all this I've done in my life. So if Jesus had told the rich man that, if you haven't done this before, be the first, probably he could. But these are religious leaders, and none of them could. They left Jesus and the woman alone. And Jesus said to the woman, where are your accusers? He said, none. He said, okay, if it is so, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. So here, Jesus was forgiving adulterers. That was a serious case among the Jews. They went back to plan to kill Jesus because this is a serious issue affecting our law, affecting our principles of life, affecting our social structure. And now he was defending women. How can women be defended in that way? And so that was a provocation that Jesus has caused the Jewish intellectuals. Now, when it comes to the killing of Jesus, Herod was very instrumental in the killing of Jesus. Jesus has touched the sexual gratification model of the Jews from the past to the present. So how would they contain him among them? That to change the mentality of the people that will change the structure of the society. Because of that, he has to be killed. And so they assuage the minds of the ordinary people about Jesus. So when Jesus was being about to be killed, Pontius Pilate said, I find no sin in this man. I find no fault. What do you say? Then the crowd shouted, crucify him, crucify him. Let his blood come upon us, our children and children's children. So those people were cursing themselves. They didn't know that they were going to kill an innocent man, because the Jews made them to believe, the Jewish intellectuals. They assuaged their minds so the people would not know the secrecy between them and Jesus. So when sexual gratification is the determining factor of a social conflict, ideas are developed to assuage the minds of the people so that the people may not know what is actually causing the conflict. And as a result, Jesus was killed. They made sure Jesus' movement will be completely eliminated. So until today, Judaism and Christianity had parted. So to discuss about issues, for them to come together as one people. Don't talk about the ideas. Don't talk about materialism. Talk about the sexual gratification and its differential model. If they agree on that basis, then there will be somehow a unity between them and the Jews, between the Christians and the Jews. If agreement will not come, then don't even talk about unity. It has been divided forever because the issue was caused by sexual gratification and its differential model, not the ideas, not materialism. That explains that. And that's why the conflict have come to stay permanently. The schism is forever. It cannot be reconciled. And if anybody to think about bringing the Jews and the Christians together, this is the issue to dialogue with them. If you dialogue with them in this area, then you are talking about proper unity. You are talking about proper way of serving God, a proper way of understanding God, the oneness in God. If they call Jehovah, and Christians also call Jehovah, which means they are in one accord. That is the only way to explain the conflict between the Jews and the Christians. If there is any means to ensure unity, that is the only way. Not in Marxist terms, not in Hegel terms, but Vinep, Nana, Asante Kankam-da-Costa. In the book called Revolution of the End Time, how we can come out with a sacrosanct sexual gratification. The division between the Jews and the Christians was caused by sexual gratification, the way Jesus provoked them in their sexual gratification, which condemns all the old ways and the new ways to structure the society.